Hello, BookTube. Cheers. Labor Day. Happy holidays to all of you. Rainy, rainy day here. But we need it. We need it. So, not going to complain about that. But because it's rainy, I can't do much out in the yard or any of that sort of thing. So I thought I'd do a bit of BookTube right up here. I never know which way to do this. You'll see a whole section of books pulled out of my shelf. I know there's some weird glare here. I've tried the light 3 different ways, but it doesn't work. So it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. What I want to talk to you about is a little collection I've been putting together. Hopefully, a lot of it I'll read this winter. And it's a collection of pirate nonfiction. I read Treasure Island for Sean D. Stanfast and Mark at Book Time with Elvis, their event, Adventures in August, I think it was. And enjoyed it very much. It's been a long time since I read it. And it got me thinking about some of the pirate nonfiction. And so I've put together a bit. Some I had, some I haven't. And I thought I'd just show you and see what I have. I have here Daniel Defoe, A General History of the Pirates, edited by Manuel Schonhorn, who I have other things by. Funny how these names show up again and again. Famed for his enduring fictional masterpieces, Robinson Crusoe and Moll Flanders, Daniel Defoe also possessed considerable expertise in maritime affairs. As a commission merchant, importer, ship owner, and active journalist who reported ship news and interviewed surviving pirates, Defoe achieved a high degree of authority on the subject of buccaneers. His knowledge was such that his book, A General History of the Pirates, remains the major source of information about piracy in the first quarter of the 18th century. There's another author, Alexander I can't even remember how to say his name. Maybe they'll have it in here, who wrote A History of Buccaneers in America. It begins with an EX. Exquemelin. So they're saying John. I remembered it being Alexander, but it's Exquemelin. So I probably need to learn how to pronounce it for one thing. But it's another book I've never had, so I'd like to get to go along with this. So, yeah. Then here's sort of a great cover. This is Yankee Ships in Pirate Waters. This, let's see, when did this come out? This is by Rupert Sergeant Holland, and it's 1931. There we go. Illustrated by Frank E. Schoonover, and beautifully illustrated too. So it's another one I want to get to. Then a really famous one here. This is Dudley Pope, a writer I like a lot. He also did the Ramage. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, you can. Right. I'll get this right there. Those are the Ramage novels. They're nautical fiction. This is nonfiction. This is the biography of the notorious Sir Henry Morgan, 1635 to 1688, the Buccaneer King. Nice edition of this. Dodd Mead, obviously, as you can see. Out of New York, illustrated with maps, and this is from 1977. I should show you some of those. Morgan's Raiders. So this I'm really looking forward to getting into. Oh, I have a picture of Dudley Pope there. And then, again, Captain Morgan. Captain Morgan's Great Pirate Army, the epic battle for the Americas, and the catastrophe that ended the outlaws' bloody reign. And this is Empire of Blue Water by Stephen Talty. This is a Crown Publishers out of New York, and this is 2007. I'll probably read these two in tandem, right? Just read them together. Then this one looks like a little self-published thing. It's, what is it? Potomac Books out of Dulles, Virginia. This is Piracy, Greed, and Betrayal in Colonial New England. The title is Quelchs Gold, and it's by Clifford Beale. I can't remember where I picked this up, but of course I wasn't going to let it sit there. Let's see what he has for... Well, he mentions... let's see if he mentions Morgan or anybody like that. No. What happened here? In May 1704, an 80-ton brigantine, the Charles, quietly slipped into the cove at Marblehead, Massachusetts. Her sudden and unexpected appearance, some 10 months after she had left Marblehead under mysterious circumstances, caused quite a stir in town. During the following 3 weeks, a drama played out involving the crew of the Charles, her commander, John Quelch, and the colonial governments of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. In the hold of the Charles lay large quantities of Brazilian sugar, hides, cloths, guns, and gold dust, and coins worth more than 10,000 sterling. A huge fortune for the time. This booty and the circumstances of the ship's voyage led to Quelch's arrest on charges of piracy and murder against the subject of Queen Anne's newest ally, the King of Portugal. Ought to be interesting. This one, If a Pirate I Must Be, the true story of Black Bart, King of the Caribbean Pirates. And this is by Richard Sanders. It's Skyhorse Publishing, 2007 again. He drank tea instead of rum. He banned women and gambling on his ships. He never made his prisoners walk the plank, instead inviting them into his cabin for a friendly chat. And during the course of his extraordinary 2.5-year career as a pirate captain, he captured 400 prizes and brought trade in the Eastern Caribbean to a standstill. Fascinating. Black Bart. Now, this one's one you see referenced. I gotta wet my whistle here. You see referenced a lot. This is David Cordingly, who I've read other books by that I really like. This is called Under the Black Flag, The Romance and Reality of Life Among the Pirates. Has a blurb by Patrick O'Brien, the great author of Aubrey Maturin novels. This is the most authoritative and highly literate account of those pernicious people that I have ever read. So there's the cover for you. Hopefully you get it without a glare. Let me see here. Pirates have become so much a part of story and legend that it's easy to forget they actually existed in the flesh. Their roving lives left behind little in the way of historical record. Thus, our image of them is derived from a smattering of fact overlaid with 3 centuries of ballads, plays, epic poems, and films. But how does our conception of pirates compare with the reality, and why was such a romantic aura become associated with murderers and thieves? Pursuing that question, Dr. David Cordingly, former head of the exhibitions at England's National Maritime Museum, which I would love to visit someday, has mined a wealth of original sources, eyewitness accounts, court documents, national archives, and more to create the most authoritative and definitive account of the great age of piracy. So, since the 1724 bestseller, The General Histories of Robbers and Murders of the Most Notorious Pirates Under the Black Flag. So this will cover Blackbeard, Captain Kidd, Henry Morgan, the usual group. But this is one you do hear reference constantly. I was glad to get it, and definitely looking forward to giving this one a read. Probably as the foundational read before I do a lot of these others. So we will see. Here's another person, author, who shows up quite a bit in bibliographies and all that, maritime. Then this is Peter Earle. In this case, it's the Pirate Wars. This is Thomas Dunn Books, St. Martin Press, New York. And it is from 2003. Seems like he covers some of the same ground as accordingly that we just looked at. But such a well-known scholar that I'm really pleased to have it. So, and then moving along here, these were really popular books. This here is The Pirate Hunter, The True Story of Captain Kidd by Richard Zacks. We'll have a couple of his books here. Nice little end papers. There's the author, if I can get you to see it there. This came out 2002. This is a 4th edition, but it looks like 3rd printing. Captain Kidd has gone down in history as America's most ruthless buccaneer, fabulously rich, burying dozens of treasure chests up and down the eastern seaboard. Over the centuries, novelists, relentless treasure hunters, and even historians have stoked his pirate legend. Robert Louis Stevenson's, for one, placed Kidd's anchorage on Treasure Island. So right there it means I want to read this. And then by the same author, this is really not, it is pirate history and it isn't. I'm going to have to read it to really narrow it down. The subtitle says yes, but it also tells me it's a little more. So this is The Pirate Coast, and this is Thomas Jefferson, the First Marines, and the Secret Mission of 1805 by Richard Zacks. So this is the Barbary Wars, I would imagine. And yeah, the declaration of war by Tripoli in 1801 marked the first foreign policy test of Thomas Jefferson's administration. And then on Halloween 1803, the unthinkable happened. The USS Philadelphia accidentally ran aground in Tripoli Harbor, and the Barbary pirates captured 300 U.S. sailors and Marines. So it's a military contest. But, yeah. Pirates, Pirate Coast, Barbary Pirates. Then, these are both by Barry Clifford. This one is The Black Ship, the quest to recover an English pirate ship and its lost treasure. Barry Clifford and Paul Perry. The other one, Paul Perry, is the co-author too. These are Headline is the name of the publisher, and this is from 1999. Captain Black Sam Bellamy and his band of pirates terrorized the high seas, looting gold from more than 50 ships and loading it into the Whydah, a captured slave ship, before losing one last furious battle with the elements and sinking off Cape Cod in the Great Storm of 1717. 2 centuries later, spellbound by his uncle's tales of Bellamy, the English sailor turned pirate adventurer and his flagship, the Whydah, the Black Ship, underwater explorer Barry Clifford resolves to salvage the sunken wreck and his plunder. He spent more than 15 years chasing leads and heading a full-time search for the wreck site. His efforts have paid off. Clifford and his team of divers have recovered the wreck and much of its priceless treasure: cannons, pistols, coinage, and gold, some with dates back to 1684. So it's basically a tale of a treasure hunt. Artifacts, following the evidence, trying to, do some historical sleuthing. And his other one to go with that is Return to Treasure Island in the Search for Captain Kidd. So there's Captain Kidd again. This one is William Morrow Publishers, and it's from 2003. When history's most famous pirate, Captain Kidd, was hanged in 1701, he left behind a trail of treasure and treachery that stretched halfway around the world. For undersea explorer Barry Clifford, the biggest prize of all would be to find the Adventure Galley, Kidd's legendary pirate ship. In the world of pirate archaeology, it was the Holy Grail. With the help of the Discovery Channel, Clifford fields an expedition that includes some of America's top experts on shipwreck recovery. Their goal is to find, identify, and possibly excavate the remains of history's most famous pirate ship. The search takes them to the exotic nation of Madagascar and a tiny island off its rocky coast, known to historians as the model for Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. So, again, a detective story of sorts. A undersea exploration. Everything. And I'm really looking forward to these two, but they'll wait a little later on my winter reading of the pirate books I've picked up so far. Like I say, there's a few I want to pick up still, and one name I need to learn how to pronounce. And if you have titles that really, really, really you've read and you really enjoyed and think I ought to try to find, let me know. Do one of these famous Steve pyramids. This weighs a ton. There we go. So these are some of the pirate volumes I picked up. For now, they'll go back over here. Well, I'm blocking it with these, which is fine. And again, I will start probably with this David Cordingley, Under the Black Flag, just to try to orient myself a little bit, and then we'll see where I go from there. So I hope all is well, and thank you, BookTube.